Okay, hello everyone. For the past 4 days I'm in this overtrained state. Kinda proud of myself, because I really pushed hard like a man. I pushed way too far to the point where my body is not recovering well. I have issues sleeping, feeling kinda depressed, lost my appetite. The friends who know me closely know that in this period I was eating a lot and I was really I would say gaining huge amount of mass, but in the past 4 days I'm like, fuck, I don't know what it's doing, and I wanted to, relax because it's Sunday, and each weekend I was trying to work on something, not fully relax, but now I was like, okay, maybe it's time to fully relax, but not before I will make this video. So today I want to talk about one of the most impactful cartoons before anime that kinda integrated into my personality that I am today. One sec. And kind of made the foundation of me to create or being interested into creating visual content, manipulating visuals and really striving for the aesthetic of any kind of media, be it cartoons, films, videos, whatever, pictures. But now I'm deeply interested in this video editing, and because of my state I'm not so heavily into it, but as soon as I recover I'll just keep doing my thing. The cartoon is Samurai Jack.
I fear no man.
Ooh, that's some tough talk coming from a man who wears a basket on his head.
The key to Akko's destruction lies in the past. I will find my way there. I only begun to fight. Who else wants some?
Samurai Jack, Saturday at 9:30 on Cartoon Network.
Made by Genndy Tartakovsky or Tartakovsky, I think Tarkovsky. Sorry if I mispronounce his name. And I was really shocked that he's Russian when I found out later in my life. But starting from 4 to 5 years old, I stumbled on this channel Cartoon Network, and I just was watching it all day, every day. I remember myself till this day that I was watching this TV a lot. And people might wonder how the fuck I don't have problems with my eyes, because TVs back then were huge, and I'm talking about very early 2000s, because I was born in 98 in Eastern Europe, Republic of Moldova, which is really between Ukraine and Romania. Back then, not most of the people had this luxury of watching channels in English, because I heard that other people, recently, they had Cartoon Network, but if you were living in Moldova/Romania, it was dubbed in Romanian, but luckily I had the English version. And it's thanks to my father. Back then he was repairing old TVs, and he was very good at this, and he got a fancier antenna in our family basement. Oh yeah, and how did I not wear glasses is because the room was huge where I was watching, and I had like really solid 5 meters away from the TV. Nonetheless, talking about Samurai Jack, and you could imagine on this very fragile age, really not understanding English. Even Romanian language, like I was very kid, but I was absorbing things like a sponge. And the genius of Genndy Tartakovsky is that, again, sorry if I mispronounce his name, he was heavily focused on the visual aspect, and this is what I like. And if you watch one of his recent projects, namely Primal, which is totally out of dialogue, and he, like a master, creates this story without telling words.
When we were doing the last season of Samurai Jack for Adult Swim, the response was the strongest for all the 9 dialogue sequences.
And this kind of the thing impacted my subconscious, because I was hooked on this cartoon, especially of this main character, Samurai Jack. And to be honest, he, being a samurai, he is not talkative very much. And being a kid who is not, who is like still introvert and didn't also barely talk, resonated with him. And a lot of the aspects that kind of was integrated into my subconscious affects me to this day. I remember clearly the episodes where Jack was meditating. He was calm and focused on his goal. And I was like, oh, cool. Meditation is good. I didn't even know why he was doing it, but it looked impressive. And I already integrated in my mind that once I will grow up and, you know, be an adult, I'll do this kind of thing. And guess what? I am meditating. I mean, of course, Samurai Jack did not force me into meditation in itself, but it had this idea into my subconscious. Then later, I rediscovered that, oh, actually meditation is good for managing your emotions and be more present and focused and so on. You know the benefits. Also, he was in shape, decent, muscular man. And again, he was not one of the reasons I started to work out, but again, it planted the seed that once I grow up, I would look at least in a good shape. Not very muscular, but in a good shape. Trying to imagine my fat version right now, for me, it's impossible. I just cannot really process it. My brain refuses. And especially when I slack off from training, like I train consistently, but I have this tendency, if I give in to my weakness, I am training less hard. It kind of reflects on my physique, and I feel it and see it immediately. And I was like, really with more frustration, like it keeps me going back on track. And also I liked his serious eyes, like, you know, this very intro of his eyes, like in the dark red background, kind of like really being focused and not very aggressive, but kind of aggressive at the same time, and just looking and pointing focused at some direction. That was like really I don't know, amazing. Like, and I remember when I was going to the bathroom and I was checking myself, I was like trying to look myself deep in the eyes and like playing with my eyebrows and really pointing straight in. This kind of I always say early Sigma, that's how you name it, early Sigma cartoon kind of impacted my undeveloped child brain. And I also like the simple colors aesthetic of this. Really, the main dominant is literally black and white. You know, Jack is dressed in white, and the main villain of the series, Aku, which is pure darkness in black. And also playing with the reds. I mean, really contrasty, saturated colors. And when I do my color grading process, unconsciously, I tend, every time, I tend to make the picture more contrast, more rich. And this applies when I try new LUTs. Many people recommend to apply it slightly, you know, like having micro adjustments to make it more richer. And I just like apply it full on, and then trying to minimize this LUT as less as possible to not ruin the whole thing. But I'm I'm still working on this. And yeah, it really also impacted the thing that he was striving to his goal, you know, which is going back in time to defeat and see his family. But every time he was failing, of course, it was frustrating, and he cried. I mean, he yelled, but he kept going. He kept searching. He kept looking. He kept embracing what is happening with him. And I mean, I understand these things now. Back then, I was not realizing what the fuck I was watching, and it planted the seeds really well. And then it created a chain of me resonating with this kind of personalities and content. And you wanna know or a funny curiosity about myself. So starting from age 8, 9, when I learned, I already knew how to read at age 7. My mother and my teachers were pushing, like, oh, you have to read. And I remember I was chilling in my room, and my dad came he was very frustrated. I don't know what happened at his job. And he saw me really chilling, having my own time. I think I didn't do anything. I was just watching in the window. He just comes at me and he slaps here like on my neck, and he yells like, I mean, if I'll translate, he yelled in Romanian. Translated like, go and read something. Go fucking read something. Something along these lines. And for me, it seems really boring, you know, like, why reading? Like, why should I do this? Reading stupid poetry and operas that really didn't have anything to do about my childhood life. now being an adult, now I see the importance of reading even fiction opera or fiction books and poetry, because it kind of goes deep into this human psychology and humanity. But I didn't live my life long enough to really understand these concepts. But one day when I was 15, I was watching a guy. This guy is Brandon Carter. Now he's very rich. Like, I really respect this guy. I was following him when he was still living in his hood in the Chicago suburbs and doing his videos, fitness videos in his small apartment. And he was making ab exercises, and he had like a 15-minute video. And I followed this video. I wanted to be muscular and I wanted to have abs, and I was just watching it. And then I see, oh, he has a channel. And then later I see, oh, he's actually into self-development. Oh, he is reading books. And he made a video talking about the importance of reading books.
Yo, what up, what up? See, man, Big Brandon Carter. We got 3 more books, man. 3 more books that have impacted my life. I know I've read hundreds of books throughout my lifetime, and in this series, I always give 3 books that I feel like have impacted me the most. Today, we have 3 books from the same author, a man who may be my favorite contemporary author.
And I was like, well, if this cool guy recommends reading books, maybe I should start reading. And I'm very thankful for that. Like, again, my brain resonated. If Samurai Jack had a YouTube channel and said you should read books, or even in the cartoon in itself, if Samurai Jack kinda hindered the importance of reading, I think I would start reading earlier. No matter how much my parents, my teachers, my elders back then were telling, oh, it's important to read books, because I never saw them reading, to be honest. Because, you know, kids tend to watch their parents, not hear them, because we are unconsciously, we kinda absorb every behavioral pattern, which is essentially a survival mechanism, but this is a whole nother topic. And yeah, this is what I wanted to go deep in and really get nostalgic about. But yeah, Samurai Jack made this foundation of, not at that moment, but in the future, to initiate this kind of behaviors of remaining quiet and striving to your goal, and having this taste of aesthetic, and also be clean, be sharp, you know, do the right things, have a good moral on yourself. Of course, a lot of bad shit happened on any other's life. I mean, I'll not get into this, but I would say this is the cartoon that made the foundation. And then I started to resonate with Shaman King, and then Naruto, and teaching how it's important to strive to your goal and never give up, all this good stuff. And again, this is a thing for another video. And also, one of my friends, photographer friends, made cool concept. He made a photo shoot and he didn't know what to do with it, and he kind of reflected also on his childhood. And funny enough, because we are roughly were born on the same year, he also watched Samurai Jack, and he made this cool concept. Maybe I'll try to find the photo and show to you. Like, you will see, you can sense this inspiration coming from him. And after I will have enough project, I will actually go even deeper and really show to you where this inspiration and ideas came from. But again, looking at my process, I think I'm only seeing this myself because I reflect a lot. I like contrast, I like clarity, I like this straight, perfect lines, and this cartoon in itself really integrates all of that. So this is my rant, and I hope kind of got you, hooked on checking this cartoon. Even though it's a cartoon, it's a good one. I mean, especially if you have younger siblings, definitely share with him, because today's cartoons are kind of, I would say, garbage. Not all of them, of course, most of them. And many people saying, yeah, in the early 2000s we had a lot of masterpieces, so to say, because people were putting more thought and energy into the projects. Also, if you see Avatar: The Last Airbender, amazing, just very amazing cartoon. Like, it's a kick-ass to watch, even as well as for adults and kids as well, because for visual standpoint it attracts kids, but you can go deeper and see the other aspects of morality and war and all other stuff. So this kind of depth kind of want to make in all of my videos. I don't want to just put the music because it sounds cool. I don't want to just film this shot because it looks cool. In most cases, yes, I'm doing this, but I kind of want to put all of them together to create a oneness, because when you see this video that I am creating, you're like, okay, this color palette matches the vibe of the video, and on top of the vibe, the music is also matching, and the pacing is matching, and the style is matching, you know, like everything you just feel, it comes together and you just get sucked in to this. This is how I can precisely explain what is my striving. But Samurai Jack is one of the major pillars, why I'm making this video and why I'm doing what I'm doing on my free time as a side hustle. I think this was a long video. Thanks for listening, and follow me on Twitter, check my Instagram below, and also I'm writing weekly newsletters, which is fun if you want to get more into mastering your thoughts and self-reflections in your early 20s and being able to find your own path, because I'm trying to really establish my own, and while doing this I'm documenting this process. So yeah, definitely check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.
Back to the past, samurai jack.